Hi there and welcome back everybody. This is a quick review of the paints which I'm going to be using for my next project, which is New Gundam Verkai. Start off by, after all the parts have been rubbed down, they're going to have little fingerprints, dust on them, so they're just going to be cleaned off with a bit of isopropyl alcohol before being put onto the crocodile clips ready for priming. And for priming I'm going to be using these three here, which I've got a lot of. Is Citadel Skull White, which is not a bad primer at all. It dries really quickly and it's fairly smooth. And also these Vallejo surface primers, they're polyurethane based, which means if you are going to do any sanding, you're best off leaving them for a good 48 hours to cure completely, otherwise they just roll up off the model itself. So next step will be inner frame. I'm not going to really go mad with the inner frame. It's going to be nice, but I'm not going to go mad. So I'm going to be using the Vallejo Model Air range there. They're metallics. One being gunmetal, which is just called gun. One steel for say the elbows, shoulders and knees. And some black metal, which is a nice colour, and we'll use that throughout the inner frame. Also a little splash and a couple of drops of glazed medium doesn't go amiss with these parts, as it allows it to sit a little nicer. And also some light grey and dark grey for like the neck, hands maybe here and there, and we've got some black just to darken colours or pick out any details if you want. So once all that's been done, we're going to move on to the armour parts, but all those are going to have a pre-shade first. I'm going to be using a grey, any grey will do really. Light grey will do for the white parts, but for the darker parts, some tar black, which is super dark grey, but it's a nice colour. It's not so stark as black, and it's good for pre-shade. Armour parts, I'm going to use a triad of colours, one white, one grey and XF19 sky grey, and I'd also like to introduce a third colour, XF55 deck tan, and I think those all complement each other really well throughout the model if the colour separation is right and you put them in the right place. So the darker parts of the armour, a lot of the people would just probably paint them black, but I actually want to get quite close to the sprue colour. XF17 sea grey, or is it sea blue? And for the parts where the sticker should go, the lighter parts, I'm going to be using metallic colour, X13. And what else? Oh yes, over the top of the darker armour, I'm going to be putting a night blue, and it's like a really nice rich indigo colour, and it'll just make it pop a little bit more. So I may wish to do some chroming, alclad type paint, so a good base for that is X1 enamel, Tamiya's X1 enamel, which is super glossy. And I've also got some mirror gold, and that'll be for all the yellow parts throughout the model. Do them gold instead of yellow. And if I need to do any mirror chrome, I'm going to use the spastic stuff, which is okay, it acts just like alclad, behaves just like alclad. And if I wish to do any candy colours on the inner frame or little accent parts, I've got a few of the Tamiya clear colours, and they dry with a nice gloss finish, and they behave themselves over the top of the spastics. So what else have we got here? I've got some of the Vallejo liquid gold range. Got some old gold, some rich gold, and some silver. They don't really cover particularly well over large areas, I don't think, but on small parts they really shine. They're nice. They're alcohol based, which means you have to use isopropyl on them to thin them down. You can't put them through an airbrush, but to thin them down and clean your brushes. Got airbrush thin as usual suspect, X20A and the Vallejo stuff, and for the cellulose for the alclads and for the enamels I'm just using reference mix. So clear coats on the inner frame, I'm going to be using Johnson's Clear, but for the outer armour I'm going to be using something new, some cellulose, lacquer, clear lacquer, and because I'm going to be using a pin wash made of Indian ink, isopropyl alcohol and a bit of windoline, but the alcohol in that does tend to attack the Johnson's Clear and some panel lining. I'm going to be using my coated modeler.